Well, good evening, folks, or good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Quincy Kane here, and this is live stream number 92. And for this evening's stream, we're going to be having, we're going to play a little game. We're going to have a bracket, and the topic of this evening's bracket is going to be singers, vocalists. So we're going to be sharing some of our favorite singers with each other. So, not just, the frontmen of great bands, not just good songwriters who write catchy songs. We're talking about people who just have those voices where they could just sing anything, and it's like, man, that gives me chills. It's like, so some great vocalists. And we're going to share some of our favorite singers, and then we'll have a bracket, and we'll vote and see who makes it all the way to the end. We'll see who the top singer is. So this is kind of like American Idol, but a lot smaller and nothing like American Idol. So, but anyway, let me see what's going on in the chat. Lady C and Clay, thanks for joining us. I hope you're all doing well. I know Clay said he was doing well, and yes, I'm doing pretty good myself. Let me come on over there. Sorry, I was like almost ready to start, and then I was kind of like, the timer ended, and I was like, oh, it's time to start. So, yeah, let's see what's going on here. Yep, things are going well. Lady C says, I'm not all better, but I'm getting there, thanks. Well, I do hope that that you recover soon, and I hope you are feeling better soon. I know there's been a little bit of some sickness going on in my family, but thankfully they seem to be on the up and up. Mom and my brother are both feeling a lot better, so awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and play a song for you guys, but if any of you would like to make a nomination, if there is a, whoever your favorite singer is, if there's someone you'd like to nominate for the bracket, go ahead and leave a comment and let me know. I might throw in a nomination in there as well. Now, funnily enough, I don't think that's a word, oddly enough, I'm going to start off with an instrumental, so I'm actually not going to be singing, but I will be singing some songs for you guys as well. So this one's an instrumental. It's called Ascension. Hope you like it. Hey, Logan, good to have you. How you doing, bud? Thank you. Again, that one's called Ascension. And that one's actually available on Spotify or wherever you like to listen to music. All right, let's catch up with the chat. So, all right, let's see here. And yes, again, that song was called Ascension, so I'm going to post a link for you guys. So if you're like, hey, I kind of dug that, I want to hear that again, well, then by all means, you can check it out on Spotify or wherever you like to listen to music and have a listen to it again. Hey, Steven, good to have you in the chat. Let's see here. Okay, and yes, let's see. You get your exercise in your stream. Yeah, I try to stay moving, you know, a little bit. Now, I don't know if you mean vocal exercise or just straight up physical exercise, you know, but I try to move as much as I can with the headphones kind of, you know, get in the way a little bit, but let's see here. And we had Logan tuning in. Logan says he's doing well. And yes, so just to catch you guys up, so we are doing a bracket, and we're going to do a vocalist bracket. So whoever some of your favorite singers are, you know, share some of your favorite vocalists, and we'll see how far they make it in the bracket. We'll kind of vote and stuff, and listen. So Clay's got one saying Bruce Dickinson is probably my favorite vocalist of all time. We'll all right. It sounds like we've got our first nomination, Bruce Dickinson. I'll bring up the bracket in a little bit. Lady saying so many vocalists across so many genres. Yes, definitely tough to choose. Even before this, like, you know, I definitely, you know, I more so want you guys to choose, but I might throw in a few nominations as well. And even for myself, I was like, man, if I had to pick like one to nominate, you know, who am I going to choose? And it was kind of tough. I was probably, you know, thinking too hard about it. But from Lady C, we've got Eva Cassidy. I feel like I've heard that name, so I feel like I'm going to recognize her probably once we look her up and stuff. But I can't say that I recognize who that is right off from the bat. But I just kind of picked one at random from the vast selection of people in my head. Well, I'm sure you can't go wrong with, you know, just whoever some of your favorite singers are, you know, just I'm sure either of them will be fine. And, you know, we may, depending how much time we have, we may do more than one round. So don't feel like you're stuck to just one vocalist. Steven, good to have you in the chat. You know, Steven's usually late and sounds like he's shown up pretty early. We got Steven and Logan. So, yeah, if you guys have some favorite singers, let me know. Lady C says, I hadn't really appreciated her vocals until I heard her sing Blues in the Night and thought, I can't do that. So, yeah, there's definitely... some vocalists definitely have those songs, you know, so those kind of go-to songs that just really, really highlight what they can do as a vocalist. So I think this is going to be pretty cool. I think we're probably going to have vocalists from all sorts of different genres, but ain't nothing wrong with that. So let me go ahead and bring the window up. Let's see here. I actually have this on the wrong thing. There we go. So here's our bracket right here. So we're going to start with just 8 nominees right now. You know, I think 8 is good, and if it ends up, you know, if we end up going through it and we have time, then this kind of enables us to do maybe another bracket. And we'll play this out. Maybe we'll do more, maybe we'll do less, but I think we're going to start with 8. And so, yeah, by all means, just kind of make a nomination. And I've also got the video brought up, as you guys can see, so that we can, you know, so that we can listen to some of these nominees and kind of get a feel for how they sound. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and add Clay's nomination, but as you can see, I'm going to nominate Chris Cornell. He had some solo stuff, but he's probably mostly known for Soundgarden and Audioslave, but I'll let you guys hear a little snippet of this, but it was really hard for me to pick, but if I had to pick one vocalist, like this dude just, I don't know, he just sounds so good, just pretty much anything he sings. So here's a little snippet of Chris Cornell. Let me go back to where he... All right, here we go. And let me know if you can hear that. Hey, Jack. Thanks for joining us. Jack, we're doing a vocalist bracket, so whoever your favorite singer is, feel free to make a nomination. Hey, Dom, good to have you. Dom is nominating Dio. Great, we're getting all kinds of good nominations here. So I will add those as well. Right now we're listening to, this is my nomination, Chris Cornell. Like, the dude's got such a vibe in the low parts, and then when the chorus kicks in, he's got such power behind his voice, you know? So yes, so Chris Cornell. Yep. Yeah, Dom nominates Lady C. We might have to add her. That's what I was thinking. She could be a contender in this. Oh, thanks, Logan. Logan says me, but to be honest, like, I'm not a bad singer, but you know, some of these people that we're talking about right now are just like their voice alone is legendary, you know. So, all right, let's see here. Sorry, I've got so many tabs I'm going through. I'm trying to. All right, so that's mine. Let's have a listen real quick. Any particular song from Bruce Dickinson that you would recommend, Clay? I know Dom said Dio. I'm going to look up Dio Holy Diver, and we'll have a listen to Dio real quick. So, yeah, let me find a good one. Which, shout out to this song. Some of you guys might know I'm a Killswitch Engage fan, and Killswitch did an awesome cover of this song, and I love it. But we're gonna check out the classics right now. To be honest, that was almost another nomination of mine. Howard Jones, previously of Killswitch Engage. Their current vocalist is well, it's kind of confusing. So Killswitch's first vocalist was Jesse Leach. And then he left the band for a while and was replaced by Howard Jones. And then when Howard Jones left, Jesse ended up coming back. So, and he is now their current vocalist. So, all right, here we go. So this is Dio. This is Dom's nomination. And I might skip ahead. I don't know how. Kind of a lengthy intro. There we go. All right, and I'm going to add Bruce Dickinson. Lady C says, I think Dom's just saying hi. I don't think so. I think he was nominating you. Hey, Stanley. He won't make it, but Conway Twitty. And let's see, we got a nomination, Rob Halford from Vincent. Vincent, thanks for tuning in. I'll have to check. That name sounds familiar. And so I'll have to look that up. Clay says, growing up in the 80s, Dio was a big part of my childhood. Cool, cool, yeah. I know he was pretty influential. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, let me look up any particular song from Rob Halford, which I don't know if he's a solo artist or if he sings in a band. That name sounds familiar though. So Rob Halford, it might even come up from Black Sabbath. Okay. Well, then how about Black Sabbath? Trying to think what a good one. Either Paranoid or War Pigs. Let's try Paranoid. All right, we might have definitely had a lot of nominations real quick. So, all right, so this is and trying to give everyone a chance. That's right, Black Sabbath is Ozzy. Sorry, Black Sabbath just came up first thing, so I was like, oh yeah, that's right. My bad. Judas Priest. Yeah. Judas Priest, my bad. I just went with the autofill on YouTube. Judas Priest. I like Painkiller. Yeah, that's a cool song. Okay. Let's give that one a shot. All right, so this is a nomination from Vincent. Cool. This was a fun song to play on Guitar Hero. It was one of the Guitar Heroes. It might have been Rock Band, but I think it was Guitar Hero.
I love all types of dancing, salsa, and even belly dance.
All right. This segment is not sponsored by Cool Sculpting, but, you know, I'll take the sponsor. I'm into fitness, so. I might have too many, like, tabs going. It's a little. All right. So that's Rob Halford. We'll add him to the mix. And I'm trying to give everyone just a little, you know, anyone who's not like super familiar with how these particular artists sound. It's a sweet song. And then Clay's saying Judas Priest's acoustic version of Diamonds and Rust is excellent. That might be a good one to check out. All right. Sorry. All right, getting lots of good nominations. I'm trying to keep up. All right. Let me look up Bruce Dickinson real quick. I don't know if he has a particular song you would recommend. But yeah, just trying to give everyone kind of a chance to sort of hear some of these vocalists. Let's see here. I'm not totally sure. Trying to see. I don't know if you have a recommendation for a song. I'm thinking of going with Tattooed Millionaire here, but hey, Daniel, thanks for tuning in. Jack says Madden 10 vibes from this song. Daniel, we're doing a vocal bracket, so if you've got a vocalist that you'd like to nominate, just let me know. Jack was saying, how about Meatloaf, the song that comes to mind, I Would Do Anything for Love, or maybe Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart, if that would work. Yeah, any of those would work. Let's see. Who is the lead singer from, well, unless Meatloaf is the name he goes by. Meatloaf. That is his name, Meatloaf. Gotcha. All right, cool. Okay, I'll have to look him up too. Yeah, you guys are kind of introducing me to quite a few. All right. Iron Maiden, hallowed be thy name. All right, cool. I tell you what, maybe I'll go ahead and write down the nominations first, and then we'll look some up. So let me see who all we had here. We had Rob Halford. Yeah, got that one. We got Bruce Dickinson. Lady C had nominated Eva Cassidy. Let's add that one. Eva Cassidy. Okay. All right, catching up. And I think I added Dio. Yep, got that one. Rob Halford. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and add Meatloaf. All right, I think we've got, unless I'm missing, I think we've got 2 more nominations. So did I miss anyone? Let's see here. And sorry, I'm having to educate myself a little bit. Okay, so Bruce Dickinson for Iron Maiden. All right, we'll check that out. Yeah, let's look up. Hallowed be thy name. All right, let's give that one a listen. Iron Maiden, hallowed be thy name. All right, and then I think we still have room for 2 more nominations. We've got James Hetfield from Logan. Daniel says, "Oh, nice, some good vocalists of mine: Rob Halford, Bruce Dickinson's." Ronnie James Dio. Well, we already got those covered, so you're good, Daniel. We don't have Jeff Tate, though, so maybe, maybe we'll do that one. All right. And Lady C says we need more women, or a different bracket. We could do that. We could do, it is kind of hard to compare, just because tonally they're so different. So I'll tell you what, so far we're already getting a lot of nominations. Why don't we go ahead and we'll do a male bracket for this one, and then the second one we'll do a female bracket. So we'll bring Eva Cassidy back for that, because I've got some favorite female singers too. Like Lacey Sturm is a favorite of mine. So, yeah, sounds like we've got some. That might be a better way to handle things. Hallowed be thy name. And then we got, what was it?
It's Tuesday.
Jeff Tate. I think we'll add that one.
When?
Tuesday.
Ready to play?
This stream is not sponsored by the lottery,
Every
but
Tuesday from the Virginia Lottery.
actually, I don't know if I'd want a sponsor from the lottery. All right. So we're going to add Jeff Tate. And I guess we'll go ahead and add James Hetfield. That was Logan's nomination. James Hetfield.
I'm waiting in my cold cell when the bell begins to
Yeah.
reflecting.
And then King Diamond. Oh, yeah. Evanescence would be a good one for the ladies bracket. Amy Lee. I haven't listened to Evanescence lately, so, I don't know if, Auto-tune's kind of an interesting thing. So I don't think auto-tune is quite as magical as some people think. Like, it doesn't instantly make you sound like a good singer. It's just a tool to help with pitch correction. But you can tell when it's overused because the person sounds like a robot, And so that's what annoys me, is like when I can clearly hear the auto-tune, If there's a little bit of pitch correction and it's not noticeable, it's just there to kind of, help the vocals fit in with the music a little tighter, it's just a tool like anything else. But if it becomes distracting, well, I should say, if it's a style of music that's more like electronic or something, then, that auto-tune effect can even be intended, but but yeah, when it's supposed to sound like the natural voice and you're hearing that electronic, yeah, that's my issue with auto-tune. All right, we got King Diamond. Oh yes, King Diamond is good, and he currently sounds good on his tours. Yeah. Merciful Fate's Melissa was a good album. Okay. All right, we'll add King Diamond. This is like categories. I was always bad at that. I'm not sure. This is totally just voting, to be honest. That's all a bracket is. So yeah, if you're wondering, yeah, all this is, we've got nominees, and then we're all going to vote. As you can see, they're paired up, and we're going to vote and see who advances to the final round. All right, we'll add King Diamond. Am I spelling that right? I think it's I before A. All right. So I think we've got all our nominees. Save that. And then we'll want to do... All right, we're going to start the tournament. All right, right now we're listening to Iron Maiden. I'm going to go ahead and mute that. That's Bruce Dickinson. Okay. Yep, Lady C says, totally agree with you about auto-tune. And Scattergory's coming up with people. Yep. I'll just be here to vote. It's well, hey, we need your vote, you know. Okay, cool. All right, so here are our nominees. Let's have a look here. So in our first pairing, we've got Chris Cornell and King Diamond. Now, I'll have to listen to King Diamond to ensure. Yeah, I probably should have waited till we got the nominees and then listen. But either way, it'll be good. All right, so that's our first pairing right there. Second pairing, we've got Jeff Tate and Rob Halford. The next group, we've got Bruce Dickinson and Meatloaf. And then the last group, we've got James Hetfield and Dio. So if any of you are unfamiliar with any of these vocalists, you might mention like, hey, I don't know what that person sounds like. I'm going to go ahead and listen to a couple myself. So let me have a listen to King Diamond. Now, what we are judging on, what we are voting, we're talking purely just the voice. That's what we are appreciating today. So all of these guys are great artists. They're all great frontmen. But what we're trying to appreciate today is the voice. And that's kind of an interesting thing because especially the style of music, some vocal tones kind of work better for some styles than others. And so I'll say for myself, I'm probably going to lean more towards the vocalists that have a more versatile voice, where they just sound like they could sing anything and it's going to be good. There's some guys, like even me, you guys know I'm a metal dude. But even for me, sometimes there's some guys that just sound good with metal, but they can't really sing much else. So keep that in mind. Now let's see, King Diamond. And I don't know if there's a particular song that you guys recommend with that. Clay says, I'm a big fan of Chris Cornell. Yep, I am as well. Stan, we'll do other rounds. Yes, I see the Steel Heart Angel Eyes, which I'm pretty sure you've sent that to me before. And yes, he is a good vocalist, but maybe he'll make the next cut. Daniel says, Bruce is such a good singer live. The crazy thing about him currently is that he sings the same tunings as in the 80s. Most bands from their era with the songs tune a step down. That is impressive that he's able to maintain singing in those keys rather than having to drop the keys. Nico just had a stroke. Man, he's 80% recovered, but he was paralyzed on his right side for weeks. Man, that's intense. All right, let's have a listen to King Diamond. This is Welcome Home. It's a cool drum intro. But we're not judging drums. We're judging vocals, so... Oh, that was about to get good, and my internet's being... There you go. Come on. It's my brother-in-law coming by. So. All right. All right, so the dude's got those powerful highs. And again, totally works for this style. I don't know if y'all have any other song suggestions just to get a better, but I would say, you know, definitely great vocalist. But if I had to choose between him and Chris Cornell, my vote would go for Chris Cornell. Not sure what you guys are thinking, but if there's anyone who wants to make a case like, no, you got to hear King Diamond sing this, you know, let me know. But I'd say for those two, my vote would go for Chris Cornell. In the second category, we've got Jeff Tate and Rob Halford. Rob Halford, again, we heard him a moment ago. Let me look up Jeff Tate real quick. So, let's see here. Now, sorry, I'm trying to... Okay, for Queensryche. Okay. Or Queensrich. I always forget how to pronounce that band name. So I know I've heard these guys before. Queen. Here we go. Clay says Chris all the way. King Diamond is good, but Chris is Chris. Yeah, Chris is pretty legendary. And again, I think Chris has got one of those voices where, like, he could literally sing anything. Like, he could sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, and it would be the greatest thing you'd ever heard, you know? So, yeah. So Chris would be my vote for that first category. What am I looking for? All right, this is Jeff Tate. All right. I'm trying to remember. I've heard this band before because Daniel's recommended them. And I remember liking them pretty good. Yeah, I recognize the song already.
Lying safe in bed. It was all a bad dream spinning in your head. Your mind tricked you to feel the pain.
Yeah, Clay, I have a feeling you and Daniel might get along just well. Okay, Stanley, we don't need any more nominations. We need votes now.
It is another chance. Wide awake, you face the day. Your dream is
And Daniel says, listen to Take Hold of the Flame live. All right, we'll have a listen. Okay, so yep, giving this one a shot. Yep, looks like I've probably watched this one before. Gonna kind of skip ahead a little bit, just so we can hear a bit. And then the next category, yeah, Bruce Dickinson and Meatloaf, and then James Hetfield and Dio. Now, that's one that I can comment a little more. I'm a little more familiar with James Hetfield and Dio than some of these others. It's kind of interesting. Again, sounding good to me. All right, this is gonna be tough. So between this and Rob Halford, I feel like, again, because both of them, I've heard a few songs from both bands that I like, but I'm not going to pretend that I'm, well-versed in their material. So just kind of judging from what I've heard so far, are there any softer songs by Judas Priest, that you guys would recommend checking out? Because, I love Painkiller, but again, that's kind of like such a distinctive vocal style. And so I think for me, I need to hear some versatility. I need to hear like something else from Rob to decide whether or not I would pick him over Jeff. Because right now, I would say I think Jeff has the more dynamic vocal, as in like just able to sing more material, of different styles. But Lady says I'm having the hardest time judging. Stanley says I love James Hetfield, but I think he meant Dio there. Dio has him on the high notes. Well, to be honest, high notes are great, but high notes aren't the most important thing. Now, that doesn't mean that the vote's going to go to James Hetfield still, but just keep that in mind. Just because someone can sing a higher note doesn't mean that they're a better vocalist. There's a lot more that goes into singing than just singing high notes. Wow. Daniel says, can't stand Painkiller. Yep. Listen to Night Come Down by Judas Priest. All right, let's give that one a listen. Night Comes Down. All right, we'll give this one a shot. And then, whoops. When it comes to James Hetfield and Dio, I think James has got a good voice for Metallica, for his band, for metal. But I don't know if I've heard him sing I don't know if I've ever heard anything that his voice alone is man, that does it for me. So I do think, I think James is great, especially for Metallica, but I think between him and Dio, I'd probably have to go with Dio. All right, just skipping ahead a little bit. This makes it a little harder because this is definitely a better song to showcase, I think, the singing. Because again, the one song I checked out, Painkiller, was kind of just all aggressive, all just aggression, And then this has a little more feel to it. Clay says, great song. Seen them about 8 years ago, right before Glenn Tipton had to retire. Yeah, Daniel's going to be seeing Metallica soon, in just a few weeks. All right, Stanley's vote is going for Judas Priest, it sounds like. To be honest, I'm not really sure. I think they're both great vocalists. I could kind of go either way between the two of them. So I might wait and see what you guys say, and then I might just be the tiebreaker. All right, and then Bruce Dickinson and Meatloaf. All right, so far what we've got, we'll all need the votes. So again, first category, we got Chris Cornell and King Diamond. For me, I'm going Chris Cornell. Second, we've got Jeff Tate and Rob Halford. I haven't really decided yet, but to be honest, I could kind of go either way with those two. If we skip to the fourth category, James Hetfield and Dio, I would go Dio. That'd be my vote. And then this third one, we heard a little bit of Bruce Dickinson earlier. Let me check out some Meatloaf real quick. I don't know if you guys have a song that you'd recommend. Meatloaf. I've got Meatloaf recipe coming up. Maybe I Would Do Anything for Love. You know, is that a good one? I might wait and see what you guys say. Lady C says, I don't know much about any of these folks, but I feel like I heard a Judas Priest song I really liked recently, so I'll vote for that. That's totally fine. Yep. That's why I'm kind of trying to play some of the music, which you guys can hear the video, right? You guys can hear the audio, because that'd be bad if you couldn't. So I'm trying to play it so you guys can hear it. I'm not like super familiar. Like I know of a lot of these singers, but I'm not like super familiar with their voices and stuff. So I'm trying to kind of listen a little bit to judge. Let's see here. Okay, got another vote for Chris. Logan says, sorry if I don't vote a lot. It's because I don't really know anyone except James Hetfield. Well, again, that's why we're trying to listen a little bit, you know. So just try to kind of listen in and, yep, and whatever sounds good to you. Be like, I'd have to go with that one, you know. All right. Okay, I Would Do Anything for Love. All right, let's have a listen to that song real quick. All right, so this is Meatloaf, I Would Do Anything for Love. Yep, so we've got Meatloaf versus Bruce Dickinson. Is there a Bruce Dickinson song you would recommend? I think one of y'all might have recommended an Iron Maiden song earlier, but I can't remember which one it was, so we might check that out one more time. Yeah, what I should have done is I should have just waited till we were looking to vote to listen. I was trying to listen before. I totally underestimated like how long it would take for like videos to load and all that, so that's all right. You live and learn. That's what these tests are for. All right, so we got Meatloaf versus Bruce Dickinson. So if there's a good Bruce Dickinson song, let me know. Clay says, well, I do have a couple decades on you. Daniel says, and I'd probably have to go with my friend's choice who has seen both Queensryche. Sorry, I'm always nervous to say that. Is it Queensryche or Queensrich? Man, I always forget. And Rob in their prime. He said he's never seen anyone who could command an audience like Rob Halford. He would just, and it looks like. But that's cool that that he got to see them in their prime, and that that they did just give on such good performances. He would just stand there on stage and give such great presence. But he said Jeff's voice was so powerful, he had to hold the mic back. And Jeff is a trained opera singer. I go with Jeff. Okay, that sounds good, especially because keep in mind, we are voting on the voice. Like all these guys, again, are great artists, great frontmen, but we want to go with the best vocalist.
That's a fact. But I'll never forget the way you feel right now.
Queensryche. Okay. One day I'll remember. I just need to say it enough to remember.
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that.
Sounded good.
No, I won't do that. Anything for love. Oh, I would do anything for love.
Do we have a good Bruce Dickinson song to check out? Clay saw Judas Priest in the 80s, then 30 years later, and they still rock. Yep, that's awesome that they're able to kind of just maintain that consistency in their showmanship and in their performances. Daniel says, I forgot how much I miss listening to Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Some days it don't come at all, and these are the days that never end. And some nights you're free.
Yeah, this is sounding pretty good.
Anything you've been dreaming of, but I just won't do that. I would do anything for love. Anything you've been dreaming of, but I just won't do that. I would do anything for love. Anything you've been dreaming of, but I just won't do that.
Oh yeah, I think it was Hallowed Be Thy Name that we looked up earlier. Oh hey, LSB, thanks for joining us. We are having a vocalist bracket, so here's the deal. I'll show you who we've got so far. We're having a listen. We were just listening to Meatloaf, and now we're listening to Bruce Dickinson. This is Hallowed Be Thy Name from Iron Maiden. I'll show you the bracket just a second. Trying to get this video. Let me skip ahead. So yeah, so even if you're not like super familiar, you can just listen to the video and kind of assess. All right, yep, so what we've got, oh, come on. Okay. So in our first pairing, we've got Chris Cornell versus King Diamond. And the second pairing, we've got Jeff Tate versus Rob Halford. The group that we're kind of looking at right now, we've got Bruce Dickinson versus Meatloaf. And then the last category, we've got James Hetfield versus Dio. So, yeah, feel free to make your vote, and we will see who advances to the next round. See, LSP asks, great song, but what is I Won't Do That? You know, I wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics, so I'm not really sure. I think he was saying, I'll do a lot for love, but I won't do that, so I'd have to look into it more, you know. But Daniel saying Bruce. Okay. If I'm being honest, I think Bruce is, at least in this performance, you know, I might be missing out on like something else, but I think he's got a lot of like character to his voice that works really well for the band and their style. But if I'm totally judging like the tone of voice, I think I would have to go with Meatloaf. I think that'd be mine. But all right, so here we go. Let me show you how we're going to do this. So if you all could, type the 4 names of your vote. So like I'll do mine. So look at each category and then just type the names back to back. So for me, my vote's going to go for Chris. I'm not sure about Jeff or Rob yet. I'll come back to that one, but I'll just put question marks for now. And then I think I'm going to go Meatloaf and Dio. So I'm sending it in the chat. So just like that. So the question marks, that's the one I don't know yet. But if everyone could write their votes like that, that way I can easily keep track of it. And yeah, just see all your, so I don't have to go searching through and count how many. I can easily just look and see who all their votes are for. Yeah, so we'll go for that. Now, while everyone is voting, I'm going to go ahead and play a song for you guys. So Yeah, give me just a second and I'll get my set up here. So, yes, so everyone go ahead and type your votes in. And I'm going to go ahead and play a song for you. All right, this is a song I have released, so you can find it on Spotify or wherever you like to listen to music. Hope you like it. This one's called Say That It's Over. Hold on one second. Funny story about this song. So some of you attended... I was invited to a block party stream last week on Friday. We had a block party stream with Chad and with Clay of Conspiracy Music. So thank you so much for tuning me in. And it was my first time participating, and we were using a service called StreamYard for everyone to stream together. You know, we were all streaming from different places, and but streaming to the same channels or whatever it might be. And so this was the first song I played. I played "Say That It's Over," but my backing track didn't come through. Like, all they could hear was my voice and just like not even the crunch of the guitar. Like, it was just the strings. Like, just the direct input of the guitar. And I did the whole song like that. When I finished, one of the guys in the panel, his name was Jack, and I think Jack Hunter, and he said, "That was great, man." He's like, "Were you supposed to have a backing track with that?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, did I seriously just do the whole song with no backing track?" And now, thankfully, I did listen back, and to be honest, like, if I had to accidentally do a song without a backing track, I'm glad it was this song because this song, like, it's very chord heavy. Like, it's just chords and a simple melody. There's no screaming in this song. There's no guitar solos. It would have been really awkward if I had like a guitar solo and there was no backing track and no distortion on my guitar. And it would have been really awkward if there was like a breakdown and I was screaming and again, no backing track, that would have just been really awkward. So I actually, was really fortunate that it was this song. I think maybe the only other song that would sound good without a backing track would be Love's Not Fair. But yeah, so I lucked out a little bit, so thank God for that. But if any of you attended that stream, here we go. Now you can hear what the song sounds like with the backing track. So here we go. Your smile so deceptive that it almost looks real. I'm sorry, I forgot to cut something off, so I'm all out of loop. Here we go. Take 3. Smile so deceptive that it almost looks real. Well, it must be hard to fake what you do not really feel. You're hiding, I know it. Tell me what's on your mind. I only wish to help. Won't you let me back inside? Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one last time. I promise I'll help you. If only you'll let me back inside. Let me inside. Your face shows no reaction when I call out your name. Your presence like a ghost. You seem so far away, and you know that I love you, but the words seem to have died. I just want this to end. Please let me back inside. Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one last time. I promise I'll help you. If only you'll let me back inside. Let me inside. Drift your eyes, just look at me when I look at you, because you must realize you're barely holding on and I'm holding tight. Would you just please try? Don't give in, you have to fight. Why won't you hear my cry? I don't wanna say goodbye. Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one last time. I promise I'll help you. If only you'll let me back inside. Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one last time. I promise I'll help you. If only you'll let me back inside. Say that it's over. I don't wanna hear another lie. I just wanna help you. Please won't you let me back inside? Thank you. Again, that one's called Say That It's Over, and that song is available on Spotify or wherever you like to listen to music. So if you'd like to hear that one again, I will post a link so that you can listen to it later. All right, we're going to catch up with the chat. For anyone just tuning in, don't be shy. Say hello. Let me know how you're doing. And just to get you up to speed, we are doing a vocal bracket. Oh, thank you, Lady C. Appreciate that. Oh, thanks, Jack. Yeah, thank you all for the kind words. Yeah, thank you so much. Here's the link for that song. Yeah, for anyone just tuning in, we are doing a vocal bracket. So we have some nominees here, and everyone is voting, and we will see who advances. So I'm going to scroll back up, and let's see what we've got here. So for our first pairing, we've got Chris Cornell versus King Diamond. Let's see what we've got here. My vote was for Chris, so that's one for Chris. Just catching up. All right, we got Chris. So far, looks like it's all Chris. All right, so I think it's safe to say that Chris Cornell is advancing to the next round. So, awesome. So we've got our first winner in a group. So Chris Cornell has advanced. The next grouping is Jeff Tate versus Rob Halford. Now, this one was a little tougher for me. I'm kind of going to see what everyone else is saying, and I might be the tiebreaker if it's not like already obviously leaning towards one over the other. Let's see here. All right, we got one for Rob, one for Jeff, so 1 and 1. And actually, we can, if I click on this, there we go. We got one for Jeff, one for Rob. Let's see here. Yep, for Lady C, kind of in my boat, unsure, but we got another one for Rob. All right. So Rob has taken the lead. And I'm a little confused from Logan's. I think, let Let me see here. You might have gotten confused with one. Bruce and Meatloaf are against each other, and I think you voted for both of those by accident. LSP says, got here late, boo, but Meatloaf, yep. Well, you can, if you know the other vocalists, you can vote for all of them as well. Let's see here. Yeah, Lady C says, oh, this is the song. Yes, it was good. Thanks, Clay. Clay says the acoustic version was great. Well, thank you. Yes, like I said, I kind of got lucky that it was that song. You know, that like if I were to grab an acoustic guitar, I could still perform that song, and it would work well, you know. All right, we got another vote for Jeff. So far it's tie, 2-2. You know, I was hoping I wouldn't have to be the tiebreaker. Thanks, LSP, saying it turned out good. Daniel says, yes, I tried to basically wave you down and tell you there's no backing track distortion. Stan was like, I think that's how it's supposed to be. I was like, hand orange covering eyes. But it sounded good. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, you know, I mean, someone on the panel totally could have, you know, been like, hey, Quincy, you know, they could have gotten my attention. But again, thankfully, you know, I think it was a nice little moment. It was a good lesson learned for me. So it's all good. It's all good. Cool. Let's see here. Stanley to Daniel says, he is creative, thought he was trying something new. I mean, if I'm trying, I think I'd be a little more creative than that. You know, if I was intentionally going to do an acoustic version, I would bring an acoustic guitar. I wouldn't be like, hey, listen to my unplugged electric guitar, you know. Well, it sounded good at the block party, but so does this. Well, thank you. Jack says, I love this song, Quincy. You sing it so well. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Yep, lots of kind words, everyone. Thank you so much. Oh, hey, we got Kim's Creation popping in. Hey, if you're just tuning in, what we are doing is we're doing a vocal bracket right now. So, yeah, we're just kind of voting to see who advances. We had, for the first round, it was Chris Cornell versus King Diamond, but Chris took the win with the votes, so he has advanced. Right now, we're doing Jeff Tate versus Rob Halford. Let's see. Lady's saying, I was thinking about picking Rob, but it's completely arbitrary. Yeah. Kim says, hi, Lady C. I just listened to your, I don't know if that's duo or I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it was beautiful. And yeah, I bet it was. Hey, it's your girl, Jess. Thanks for tuning in. If Halford doesn't win, well, you know, you can vote for him. So let's see. Is that a vote? Is that a vote for Halford then? So if you could, so if anyone is just tuning in and you would like to vote, here, let me step back real quick. Gonna submit these scores real quick. So, whoops, right now it's, yeah, I'll come back and tweak that. So anyone who's just tuning in, Chris Cornell has already advanced, but right now we've got Jeff Tate versus Rob Halford. So if you'd like to vote, please vote for each category. So you would type, you know, if you were voting for Rob, you'd write Rob, and then next to that you would write either Bruce or Meatloaf, and then next to that you would write either James Hetfield or Dio. So just write each name next to each other, so that way I can see all of your votes in one comment rather than having to search through. But yeah, it sounds like we might have another vote for Rob there. Let's see here. And yeah, I'm pretty sure, you know, I was reading Kim's comment, Kim's Creation. Yeah, anything Lady C did probably is beautiful. So, man, y'all are making this hard. Logan's voting for Jeff, but hey, it's your girl Jess. I'm guessing is voting for Rob. So, yeah, this is y'all are making this tough on me. Lady C says, "Well, now we do need an acoustic version." Well, I'll see if I can. I'll see what I can do about that. All right, so we got another vote for Rob. Got one for Jeff, and I promise I hit the like button. Well, thank you. You know, and if anyone else wants to hit the like button, I do appreciate that. I'm afraid I don't know everybody. I will pick. Enough to pick. If you don't know everyone, don't worry. Just pick the ones you do know, and we'll kind of listen a little bit. We have been checking out some videos. All right. Man, it's kind of tough. So I think it's pretty tied. I think we could honestly go either way, but I think I'm going to go with Rob. I think I'm going to give him the win. But you know, I could honestly go either way with Rob or Jeff. So Rob has advanced to the next round. So now we've got Bruce Dickinson versus Meatloaf. I think my vote went for Meatloaf. So forgive me, I got to scroll back up real quick, and let's see how everybody else voted. So I believe mine was for Meatloaf. Yes, okay, I see now. Yep, I went with Meatloaf, but we got from Clay, we've got a vote for Bruce. Okay, from Daniel, we've got another vote for Bruce. Okay, from Lady C, we've got a vote for Meatloaf, so we are tied. Okay, from Jack, we've got a vote for Meatloaf. I feel like if someone were to walk in, they're like, "Are we voting for dinner?" You know, but okay, we're having meatloaf for dinner. All right. Yep, got another vote for Meatloaf from Logan. So Meatloaf is taking the lead right now. And then LSP is voting for Meatloaf as well. So I know we had a few other people hop in, so there's a chance that that Bruce can come back. But let's just see here. Yep, Stanley. Yep, Stanley voted for Meatloaf as well. And I'm trying to see if how it's looking on everyone else's end. Okay, yeah, I think. All right. Stan, you rest well. I will see you when I see you, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Oh, that's cool. So Jess says Rob, Bruce, and Jeff performed together. So we'll have to give that a listen at some point. Okay. All right. So I do think I do have a feeling that Meatloaf took the win on this one. So we're going to give that to Meatloaf. And then lastly, James Hetfield and Dio. Again, my vote was for Dio. Let's see how everyone else is voting. Yeah, we got Dio, another one for Dio from Daniel. Catching up with the others. Sorry, looking for those votes. Okay, here we go. All right, we got a vote for James, so we'll go ahead and give him a point. Got another one for Dio. Okay, from Lady C, we've got Dio. And then, okay, yeah, so I have a feeling Dio has taken the win on this one. All right, so we have advanced to the next round. So the next round, we've got Chris Cornell versus Rob Halford, and then we've got Meatloaf versus Dio. Now, I can say for myself already, I got to go Chris Cornell. He's like one of my favorite vocalists. And, what I've heard from, again, from both Rob and Jeff sounded great. But, I don't know, man. Chris Cornell has got such a great voice. Let's see here. I'm trying to think what's another good song. I'm going to check out his, 1 second. Chris Cornell. Man, what's it called? You Know My Name. Yeah, I want to check out his James Bond song. So, yeah, here we go. So for anyone who isn't familiar with Chris Cornell, if you've seen the movie Casino Royale, he's the guy who sang the song. Now, I will say, I actually didn't realize I was a fan of Chris Cornell until, unfortunately, after his passing. And, once I kind of started looking him up, I was like, oh my gosh, I love all these dudes' songs, and like, I didn't realize it at the time, I wasn't familiar with his name, but let me get it where you guys might be able to hear it. I can't hear it. Yeah. I mean, that is smooth, dude.
I'll tell you won't like what it is. When the storm arrives, would you be seen with me? By the mercy
Like during these low parts, like he's just got such a pleasing tone to listen to. And then when he gets high, he's got like the power behind his voice. And he's get some high notes. Yeah, so for me, I got to go Chris Cornell. But between Meatloaf and Dio, anyone have a good recommendation for another Dio song to check out? Because I checked out Holy Diver, but maybe there's something else that is a really good showcase of his voice. And for anyone else who isn't familiar with Dio, I want to give them a chance. We heard a song from Meatloaf a while ago, and I thought it sounded quite nice. Any other Meatloaf songs too, you know? Let's see here. Got to be honest. Music, video. Artists that have names like that, like Meatloaf and stuff, they're kind of they're sort of frustrating names because it's like, no, I'm looking up the artist, not the recipe. So it's like, you know, like one of my favorite hard rock bands is the band Red, but that is like the worst band name ever because red, like red what? It's a color red, you know, like that is such a hard thing to find. Like if you have to look up the band or the artist, like if you have to type in the name and then type band after it, I feel like that's probably not the best band name. Children of the Sea. Let's check that out. Children of the Sea. And I'm guessing this is this a Dio song? This says Black Sabbath. Am I getting something wrong here? I don't know if they covered it or something. Okay, yep, Daniel's saying Dio Don't Talk to Strangers, so maybe we'll check that one out. And then what's another good Meatloaf song? Let me know. So Dio Don't Talk to Strangers. All right, so for anyone just tuning in, we are doing a vocal bracket. So we've got two groupings right now. We've got, sorry, let me find the bracket. Yep, all right, so we've got Chris Cornell versus Rob Halford of Iron Maiden. And we've got Meatloaf versus Dio. So these are the nominees that are up for voting. So, all right, this is Dio Don't Talk to Strangers. And then it looks like I was about to be educated here. 1 second. Oh, Dio, when he was with Black Sabbath. Okay, there you go. Thanks for educating me. Yep. It sounds like,
Anything
yeah,
for Dogs Month.
Daniel's been my
All month
go-to
long.
for, you know, when it comes to a lot of 80s bands. And sounds like Clay is going to be able to keep me informed in that area as well. Like, I'm definitely, you know, familiar with a lot of the bands and the artists, but not, you know, I know more so their songs than I do, like, the people who were involved.
Don't talk to strangers, 'cause they're only there to do you harm. Don't write in starlight.
All right, if anyone's got any suggestions for a Meatloaf song, we'll check that out in a moment as well.
Don't hide in doorways. You may find the key that
Kim's Creations says, my mom loved Meatloaf. Meatloaf, I'd do anything for love. Try that one. I think that was the one we heard earlier, which was a good song. Jack says, gotta head out. Thanks for the stream, Quincy. I'll check the rest out later. Jack, always appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, hope you're doing well, man. And yeah, always appreciate you stopping by. Hey, Quincy, I'm going to go practice for tomorrow, but I'll try come back. And if I can, I'll watch more tomorrow. Appreciate that, Logan. And hope practice goes well. You can always practice unplugged and while you're watching. Paradise by the Dashboard Light live. Okay. Yep. Dio is good. Yep. This is sounding good. Yep. He's got the aggression in the high parts, and then he's got kind of the sort of the sweetness in those softer bits. Kind of digging this track. All right, so that was Dio. And then we're going to have a listen to Meatloaf. This is a live performance of Paradise by the Dashboard Light. All right. Hopefully this is the right one. I don't know if there was a specific live performance or if it was like live recorded audio. Not sure. This one says live Rock Palace, 1978. Not this live version, but this is okay. If there's a better one, I can try to find it. Like, yeah, I don't know if they released like a CD version or something. Would it be? I might just have to go with. Yeah, I don't know. Might have to go with that, you know. All right, we'll give it a listen. Skip ahead just a little bit. Just check the one with the most views. Yeah, that's probably what I should have done. The Vivo one. Now, maybe, okay, so there was one that, yeah, it wasn't, I mean, it looked like live footage, but it didn't say live in the whatchamacallit, in the title. Yeah, this one right here. All right, sorry, we're getting there. I will say, you know, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. If you are enjoying the stream, let me just let you know that you might consider signing up for my email list. I'll post a link. And that way you can stay notified about when I'm going live and when I've got song releases and, you know, whenever I release a new song and all that. I think it went back to the same one. All right, sorry, I don't want to delay it, so we'll just kind of have a listen to this.
But I remember every little thing as if it happened only yesterday. Parking by the lake and there was not another car in sight. And I never had a girl looking any better than you did. And all the kids at school,
Yeah, LSP says, I always go to the performer's uploaded videos if possible. Yep.
and our bodies are so close and tight. He never felt so good, he never felt so right. And we're going like the metal on the edge of a knife. Going like the metal on the edge of a knife. Come on, hold on tight. Oh, come on, hold on tight. Look out now. No, it's cold and lonely in the deep dark. So open up your eyes, I got a big surprise. It'll feel alright, but I wanna make your motor run. And our bodies are so close and tight. He never felt so good, he never felt so right. And we're glowing like the metal on the edge of a knife. Glowing like the metal on the edge of a knife. Come on, hold on tight. Oh, come on, hold on tight. Well, I want you hold on tight. Though it's cold and lonely,
Kind of tough.
deep dark night, I can see paradise.
Yeah, Clay says 4,000 views, 400 subs. Yep, that's pretty much what happens when someone posts just a performance video from an artist with an audience. And this is kind of tough. Now, I will say one thing I'm a little concerned, because when they're, performing live, obviously that's not the, I don't know if I want to compare a live performance to a studio recording, because when they're performing live, they're in the moment, they're moving on stage, it's they're a bit more exhausted. They might not be able to perform quite as well. Oh, is it on? Did I mess something up? Saying YouTube is broken. Yeah, I was trying. Oh, okay. All right, well, I'm just going to bail out on that. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and play another song for you guys, but let me show you how the voting works here. So we've got Chris Cornell versus Rob Halford, and we've got Meatloaf versus Dio. So please leave a comment, and just like I'm doing now, so I'm going to type Chris, and I could go either way. I think I'm going to go Dio. But there we go. So just like I did there, you just type the two names right next to each other so that way I can see your comment and see what your vote is. But while you guys are voting, I'm going to go ahead and play another song for you. So let me go ahead and find it on the set here. Yeah, here we go. Whoops. All right, so just go ahead and type your vote, and I will collect them after the song, and we'll see who advances to the finals. Hope you like this one. This one's called Waiting. So, this is where we are. Where else have we been? Circling this room, round and round again. Look into my eyes, see if there's a change. Who I tried to be is not who I became. Everyone is gone, they found the way out. I will find it too, any second now. But will you find me? I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. It seems so long ago since we first began. Now that it's today, maybe this will end. Seeing no results has got me feeling down, but I'll be up again any minute now. But will you find me? I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. But will you find me? I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. Been so patient. Time is wasting, and I can't take it. Please give me something. I'll take anything. Just don't leave me. But will you find me? I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. But when you find me, I'm still waiting. Waiting. Thank you. That song's called Waiting, and I actually haven't released that one yet. So unfortunately, if you want to hear that one again, you'll just have to keep waiting. So, all right, let's see what's going on in the chat. So again, for anyone just tuning in, don't be shy, say hello. We are doing some vocal brackets. And let's see here. We've had one bracket so far. I don't know that we're going to get to do too many more. But we've got a couple groups here. We've got Chris Cornell versus Rob Halford. And then we've got Meatloaf versus Dio. So let's see how the votes are looking here. All right, catching up. So let's see. I'm going to click on this one. So again, my vote went for Chris. Daniel was talking about the video we watched a moment ago. The woman who is singing in the video is actually not the woman who was recorded on Paradise by the Dashboard Light. The original singer did not want to perform live with Meatloaf. Interesting. And appreciate the Daniel. You always have like the neatest little like tidbits of info and facts and stuff. So I appreciate that, man. That's cool. All right. Daniel's vote goes for Rob. So we got 1 and 1 on Chris and Rob. Lady C says Chris Cornell. So that's another vote for Chris. Oh, hey, the deal for real. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're doing well. We're doing a vocal bracket. So right now we've got Chris Cornell versus Rob Halford, and we've also got Meatloaf versus Dio. So feel free to cast your vote, and we'll see who advances. Let's see here. The yells always hit. Thanks, LSP. Yep, try to work on those. Appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate everyone tuning in. Oh, thank you for the applause. Yep, Lady C. Yep, you just have to keep waiting. All right, from Clay, we got another vote for Chris. Let's see here. All right, so unless something changes, right now it's looking like it's right now it looks like it's going to Chris, but yeah, if anyone else votes for Rob, just let me know. Let me check. Let's see how things are for Meatloaf versus Dio. I think I voted for Dio. Again, really, either one of them I think would be just fine. We got another one for Dio from Daniel. And then I'm guessing LSP is voting for Dio. Dio for the win. So there's another one for Dio. Lady C for Dio. And just trying to see here. Yep, Clay. Clay's got Dio, but then we've got one for Meatloaf. But yes, unless something turns around, I do think it looks like Dio is advancing. So, all right. So it looks like we're going to give the win to Dio and Chris Cornell. So we are in our final round. So we've got Chris Cornell versus Dio. Both excellent vocalists. For me, my vote, I got to go Chris Cornell. Again, just one of my absolute favorite singers. But yep, it's just down to these two. If any of you are not familiar with either of these vocalists, just let me know and I'll look up a video real quick so you can kind of hear their singing. But for me, my vote's got to go for Chris. So please, who are you voting for? You going Chris or are you going Dio? Please leave a vote and let's see who our winner for the vocalist bracket is. And so. Yep. And anyone just joining in, don't be shy. Say hello. And yep, we are down, pretty much at the end of the bracket here. So, all right. So for Daniel, we've got a vote for Dio. And then LSP. Yep. Thank you for confirming. I saw you vote Dio for the win earlier, but I didn't know if that would change when Chris Cornell showed up. So, all right. So we got another vote for Dio. We've got Chris Cornell from Lady C, so we are tied 2-2. Yep, so we need the tiebreakers to show up. Yep. Which, usually I'm the tiebreaker if things do end in a tie, but we'll see. I think we got enough people that we'll see how it ends up, but yep, could use more votes. Now, if you're watching and you're not familiar, just let me know. And again, I can play a little segment of their singing so that you can kind of hear. In fact, while we're waiting for a few more votes, I might try to look something up real quick. For everyone voting for Dio, what would be like the one Dio song that you would want people to hear? If if you were like, oh, you got to hear his voice, you know, which Dio song should I go with? So I'm gonna go ahead and look up this Audio Slave song, Show Me How to Live. I think this is just a good showcase of kind of his vocal range. Clay is the tiebreaker. Dio. Well, if it on Clay's stream, he can be the tiebreaker, but on my stream, I think I'm the. So LSP saying the second song that I played from Dio. So I'm sure it would come back up in the search if I looked it up again. Drawing a blank on the name right now, but. So in case anyone isn't familiar, this is Chris Cornell. Right here. Don't Talk to Strangers. That's the Dio song. I'll look that one up next. Yep, so anyone who hasn't voted yet. Oh, I think we got another vote for Dio from Fallen Star, so. Sorry, I might have missed that. Yes. And so Dio's got the lead right now. All right, so there you go. That's Chris Cornell. And then we're going to look up Dio. Don't Talk to Strangers. All right, here's Dio.
Don't talk to strangers, 'cause they're only there to do you harm. Don't write in starlight, 'cause the words may come out real.
Now we kind of got.
Don't hide in doorways.
We'll listen real quick.
You may find a key that opens up your soul. Don't go to heaven, 'cause it's really only hell. Don't smell the flowers, they're an evil drug to make you lose your mind. Don't dream of women.
All right, Kim's Creations is voting for Chris. LSP, when you said this sounds great, I don't know if you were talking about the Audio Slave or for what we're listening to right now. Either way, both of them sound good. Daniel says, you also have to remember that Ronnie James Dio was amazing in Rainbow and Elf, and of course Black Sabbath. So yeah, it sounds like he was in some other groups too, so. Kim's Creation says they're both good, but I like the range of Chris. Yeah, I kind of, I agree that I think they're both really good, and I think Dio's voice works so well for this style. But again, if we're like purely just talking singing, I think, hold on, hear those harmonies. Oh! Yeah, both great. I think if we're like talking purely just the voice, I think, for me, I'd have to go Chris, but I don't think you can go wrong with either one. Right now, we're at a tie. It would be nice if Clay would cast his vote because he could be the tiebreaker, Yep. So I'm trying to see if anyone. Yeah. So anyone who hasn't voted yet, those are our two nominees. Hey, we got Michael. Hey, Michael, thanks for tuning in. Hey, you could help too. Are you familiar with Chris Cornell and Ronnie James Dio? We're doing a vocal bracket, and these are our two finalists. And so right now we've got a tie, and so we could use some tiebreakers, So we've got Chris Cornell and Dio. If you're not familiar with either of them, just let me know, and I'll I can play some of their music so you can hear them singing. Lady C says, I'll vote for Chris, but I think I got your vote already. I think I counted you already. Yeah, I got you at the top. So you can't vote twice, I'm afraid. Let's see here. Yep. Daniel says all these small guys like Bruce, Jeff, and Ronnie had such big voices. They did. Michael says Chris Cornell all the way. So that could be the win, but I don't know if Clay is still out there. If Clay's still out there, he could set it back at a tie if he were to vote for Dio. But that's all right. I've been asking you to vote a lot. Yeah, Lady C's like, I didn't remember if I'd voted, but yeah, I've been asking you all to vote a lot, so it's been a little tricky. All right, cool. So I tell you what, we'll let me see here real quick. We'll give it a minute, and if nobody makes another vote, then we'll give it to Chris. But I want to give Dio a chance. I don't want to be like, all right, Chris has got the lead. He wins. So we'll see. But again, it could go either way. I was going to point out, like, it's cool. I mean, they just have such that's the cool thing about the human voice in general is just like there's so many different styles of singing. And the amazing thing about the voice is like some people can have, a vocal style that works well for one genre of music, but not very well for another style or something, I mean, maybe like an obvious example of that would be like someone with a very strong country accent, kind of might sound really good singing country, but then you got them, you got them singing pop or singing, I think a country accent could work for certain styles of metal, but wouldn't be my particular, I don't know if I would care for hearing that, but that's not to say that it couldn't work. But the point is, like, it can be such a good fit for something, and then another style, it can be like, yeesh, that's not quite working for me. Yeah. Hey, Pookie, thanks for tuning in. Both voices are incredible. They are both tops in their genres. Yes, I would agree. Hey, you could sort of help us, if you want to vote for one. I don't know who would your vote go for. Right now, Chris is in the lead, but I'm just trying to, try not to call quits on it yet. So if you want to vote for Dio, that would set it at a tie again. If you want to vote for Chris, then that would sort of confirm, like, all right, Chris has got the win. But just trying to give them both a fair chance right now. But yes, they're both really good. Unless you're Kid Rock. Yeah, that's what LSP's saying. Yep. But yeah, Pookie, if you've got a vote, I'd be curious which one you would go towards, Chris Cornell or Dio. I don't know. Depending how you vote, it could either be very helpful or it could be very inconvenient if it ends up being a tie again. But yeah, we'll give it just another minute here, and if we don't get another vote, then I think we'll go ahead and give the win to Chris Cornell. But and anyone else just tuning in, it's not too late to cast a vote. So, but it will be. And I think we're going to try to do one more bracket. So anyone else just tuning in, I think we're going to try to do a female vocalist bracket. So in a moment, might get your votes for that. But we'll put a wrap on this. If I'm looking at the clock, if it turns 8:18 and we don't get another vote, then I think we'll go ahead and give Chris the win. But Pookie says, I'm torn between both. It depends on what I want to listen to at the moment. Well, if this helps, what we're kind of voting on is, I mean, yes, they're both great singers, but I am trying to judge, the voice alone. So not necessarily the songs, not necessarily their showmanship, whether or not they were a good frontman, just purely like, which voice is like, yes, that's a great voice. I think we should, wait on the female bracket? You mean like for another stream? We can do that. I know this one's getting late, and we would be kind of squeezing it in. So if you prefer to wait on it, then I'm okay with that. I wanted to do the female bracket just because I wanted to give you a chance to with your nominees, and I know there are some other great female vocalists we wanted to recognize, but if it is going to be a bit of a squeeze, then maybe we'll wait on that. In fact, I'll even take note of it so that we can do it next time. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm just taking a little note. Maybe that would be the better way to go. Female bracket. All right. With that said, so right now it's looking like it could be Chris Cornell. But let me go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to play one more song, and if we don't have, if nothing changes in the votes, if it goes one way or whatever it might be, then we'll roll with that. So let me go ahead and play a song for you guys, especially for those of you who are just tuning up. So this is a song this is a song about not giving up. Some of you guys might know that I really enjoy skateboarding. And one thing I like about skateboarding, I think there's just a lot of lessons from skating that apply to day-to-day life. And one of the biggest lessons is that, like, if you're going to get into skateboarding, you better get real comfortable with falling, because half of skateboarding is just falling over and over and over again and trying to get again. In fact, a big part of skating is learning how to fall, so you kind of have to, like, if you want to keep yourself from getting hurt, you'd better learn how to fall and how to save yourself and how to bail out properly. And so that can be such a helpful thing. And so in that same way, I think it's just that carries over to life a lot. Like, whatever you're trying, whatever you're going after, whatever you're doing, like, don't give up, be willing. There's nothing wrong with messing up, and there's nothing wrong with failing. In fact, I would argue that true failure is not trying at all, but the willingness to try again, if you're willing to try again, then you haven't really failed. You've stumbled, and now you're just kind of correcting yourself, getting back up and trying it again. So that's kind of what this song is about. So any of you out there, whatever you're facing, whatever challenges you have ahead, whatever kind of tough times you're going through, just some encouragement to you, don't give up, hang in there and just get up again. There's nothing wrong with messing up. It's not the end, you'll get through it. So that's what the song is about. Hope you like it. This one's called Get Up Again.
You've been here many times before. You can't ignore the time in hand is running short. No end in sight, and nothing's going right. Why even try? There's nothing left inside. It always hurts to lose what you wanted, but it feels worse to never have tried it. It's not the first and won't be the last time, so get up again. Still holding on, still pushing through this marathon. Give all you've got. There's not much further left to crawl. No end in sight, and nothing's going right. Why even try? There's nothing left inside. It always hurts to lose what you wanted, but it feels worse to never have tried it. It's not the first and won't be the last time, so get up again. Stand your ground. Get up again. And again. Oh.
Thank you. Again, that one's called Get Up Again, and that's available on Spotify or wherever you like to listen to music. So I'm going to post a link so that way, if you liked it, you can hear it again. All right, let's catch up with the chat. See what's going on here. Just a moment. Here we go. There we go. Get Up Again. So there's the link if you'd like to check out that song again. Again, available on Spotify or, heck, if you still download music, you can go to my Bandcamp and download that song for free. Okay. Yep, Daniel was agreeing with Lady C. Maybe next week the female bracket. We'll see. I think the next time we do a bracket, yes, we'll do a female bracket. So, because I do think I've got one more song for you guys, but I do think we're going to be putting a wrap on this one soon. And then I see Daniel put "Erase Myself." I don't know if you were requesting that. I mean, if you'd like me to play it, I can. I had a different song in mind for my last one, but if you'd like, I can do that one for you. Michael says, yeah, both great vocalists. I voted for Chris Cornell because I've heard him sing in more varying styles and enjoyed his voice in all of them. Yeah, that would kind of be, I would agree with that. I think he's got a very versatile voice. Like, yes, it's worked great for rock, but, you know, he could sing more than just rock. LSP says, it's how well we recover from a fall, but we're sure to fall again unless we overcome the label of failure. Yes, that's right. Yep, it's the I think that's a good point. You know, the recovery is more important. You know, it's not just succeeding; it's how you recover when those falls happen, because they're going to happen. So that's a good point to bring up. Clay says, I will always have a hand to help people up. Yep, and that's a good thing too. Yep, when people do need help and encouragement. You know, we're all facing our own struggles and battles and stuff, and it's going to be tough. There's going to be certain things that, you've got to face yourself, but you definitely want to be aware of what other people are going through and be willing to lend a helping hand and encourage someone in helping them overcome whatever that personal challenge might be. Pookie says, thanks. I am Lord Spike. Just been relaxed. Oh, okay, just talking with LSP. Okay. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for the applause, you all. Appreciate that. Great stuff. Thank you. Please hear. Okay. Yep, just catching up. Kim's Creation says, I have a rough voice myself. I heard you talking about the different areas to sing from when I was trying to do that myself the other day. Yeah. If we're talking, like vocal technique and stuff. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of different, and we can even dive into that real quick. So real quick, let me just wrap this up, the bracket portion of this. How do I trying to get it where you guys can see it again? There you go. So yes, both great vocalists. I do think it sounds like we're going to give the win to Chris Cornell. It was a close one, but there we go. Rest in peace, Chris Cornell. Appreciate all the great music and performances you gave. And just a phenomenal vocalist. And but some great suggestions. So the next time we do a bracket, I think we are going to do a female vocalist bracket. So if you have any ideas for a nomination there, definitely be sure to let me know. But while we're talking about singing, we might talk a little bit about vocal technique and kind of get into that topic. Let me ask, how many singers do we have out there? Do we have any other singers out there? LSP says, I karaoke great all by myself. Yep. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, some people are like, man, I sound really good in the shower. Hey, Hannah. I am so late to this, LOL. Well, better late than never, I do think we are done with the bracket portion, but we are talking a little bit about singing, which, Hannah, I know you play guitar, and I think you do a little bit of singing. I don't know if you're kind of still learning or still trying that out. But real quick, just to catch you up, here were our brackets right here. Chris Cornell ended up being the winner. But you can see all our nominations and how they advanced. It came down to Chris Cornell and Dio, and the vote went to Chris Cornell. But I do think we're not going to do it tonight, but we are going to do another bracket in the future for female vocalists. So, Hannah, I know you've got some favorite female singers, Avril Lavigne, and I'm not sure, the lady from Hailstorm, and so, so you'll definitely want to be sure to attend for that one and make some nominations. I was asking, what singers do we have? Yeah, Hannah says, of course, Cornell won. I know. He's a tough one to beat. So, all right. If we have any singers out there and stuff, singing, there's so many different styles and. Such a cool thing, For myself, what I've kind of learned, like with rock singing, because I sort of think of like 4 different techniques or areas of singing for my voice, and it might even be more than that if I dig really deep. So first, there's like just your clean voice. There's like your forward placement, So like the your real voice, it's usually, if you kind of hum, and you kind of get that vibration like just above your teeth and like right under your nose, almost like you're wearing a mask. And if you're sort of humming into that, yeah, hey, that's like your real voice. It's kind of your speaking voice. And whoa, whoa, and that's kind of like where you sing at. That's like the optimal place to sing, or at least for like your real tone singing voice and stuff. And I've had to train, everyone has sort of a voice range. Now, you can train that range and you can get comfortable and you can learn techniques to sort of sing outside of that range, but everyone has sort of a vocal range that their voice sits in, naturally. And so I think I am a tenor, but I've always wondered, like, am I sure I'm a tenor? Because I've struggled to get higher notes before. But I think I just had to train. I think the more I train, I'm either a very low tenor or I was just an untrained tenor, But tenors typically are higher male vocalists, and usually the higher notes is where I feel a little more stable. Like when I'm singing, like whoa, whoa, something like that. That's where I feel like, all right, I kind of like, my voice feels nice and stable. But when I would sing low, like lower voices, it took me a while to strengthen that. Like my voice used to be just very like whispery and it just very much lacked. And that was the thing. Yeah, Lady C says it may be the way you were reaching for notes. And I did used to strain too. Like I had a very small range where it felt good, but then those higher notes, I would kind of yell for them or I would strain for them, which of course is not proper vocal technique. And I've since then had to learn a lot. It was kind of funny, sort of learning to train my lower range actually helped with my higher range because it helped me learn like how to stabilize my voice. But that was really helpful, kind of working on singing lower. And again, I mean, really, the key to it is just doing your vocal exercises and doing them consistently, doing them every day. So, well, thank you, Lady C. Yeah. Well, I guess it's not a compliment, but just confirmation that definitely a tenor. But, I mean, even, like, I can hit higher notes a lot easier now than I used to. I used to have to, like, really fight for some higher notes. And the low range was definitely harder for me, but I had to train. There was an exercise I did. It was just kind of you descend. You go, nay, 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 da-na, nay, 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 da-na, nay, nay, nay. And you just keep going down. And by doing that over and over again, that just kind of helped me get more comfortable in my low range and helped me sing with more stability and power. So that really helped. And then also just learning, like, it's kind of weird, but just really like getting up on the mic and just singing quietly, like trying not to force volume out of my my voice. So if I'm singing like take me away, like it used to be easy for me to, like if I try to sing that louder, sorry, me away, it's, I don't know what I'm trying to, it's, you get kind of a less pleasing tone. But if I just kind of let the volume be what it wants to be instead of trying to force it, then it tends to, tends to resonate a lot better. Let me just catch up with what's going on in the chat here, because we're getting some interesting tidbits here. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was kind of talking and wasn't really catching up with what was going on. Yeah, and hey, that's, so Clay was saying so many good singers that didn't make the list. That's the nice thing about these brackets. Don't worry, I'll do them again, and we can always nominate other singers next time. So it's not like this was the only vocal bracket that we'll ever do. So that's kind of the fun thing. We can always nominate different singers. Hannah says, I plan on releasing singing videos soon, just waiting for the lingering cough to go away so I don't sound like a smoker singing. Well, yeah, I do hope you feel better soon, and yeah, looking forward to hearing you and sing. Michael says, I wouldn't call myself a singer, but I sing my songs, and I think that's fine too. I think there's nothing wrong with writing songs and just being like, hey, I sing. It's kind of funny, some of my favorite singers aren't necessarily like great singers. Again, any Ben Folds fans out there, I really like Ben Folds. He's not really the best singer, but his voice works for his songs, and he writes great songs, and like, I love listening to him, I would not compare Ben Folds to Chris Cornell, Chris Cornell is definitely the better singer, but that doesn't mean that Ben can't sing his songs and for it to be enjoyable. In fact, I'd say even for myself, I'm not like, I don't even, I've gotten a lot better in my singing, but for a long time, my voice was like, I just kind of had to deal with what it was, and so I get that, there's definitely nothing wrong with, like, if you enjoy singing, then just sing your songs. But I will say, like, if you want to get better at singing, like, you can get better, and, you just gotta put in the consistency of just frequently practicing and just strive to improve on your technique and little by little making those tweaks, and you might be surprised, like, how good you actually can sing. Let's see here. LSP says, that's what my wife says to me. She loves to hear me sing. Sing in your own voice. Amazing. Mm-hmm. Yep. Michael, Lady C is an amazing singer. Yes, that's right. Let's see here. Kim's Creation says, I think it's really interesting. There's a sinus sound or a deep throat sound, a deep lung sound. or just a normal sound. Like, right, yeah, that's right. There's so many different places to resonate the voice. There's falsetto or like your head voice up here, that kind of like, airy voice up here, You can't resonate more, like in the nose, usually you don't want to do that too much, but, you can resonate there. There's kind of your forward placement, your speaking tone, and then you can kind of go in your throat more and kind of get, kind of a lower sort of sound like that, So there's a lot of different places to resonate the voice. So it is very interesting, the different sounds you can get. Whitney Houston bent the notes. That's what she told Wycliffe Jean. I'd have to listen to her, kind of hear her take on that and kind of what she meant. Now, I don't know if you mean bent like, because I'm not sure what exactly. I mean, do you mean bending like kind of like bending into a pitch or something, or if you mean like a certain technique, like or if you mean bend like physically bending, like to kind of hit certain notes, But that is true, if you're talking about like hitting high notes, I've heard people say sometimes to think down rather than up. And even me, like when I'm hitting higher notes now, you had to break the habit. There used to be this habit of straining for those high notes, like, and like trying to reach them. And it's kind of funny. I've since broken that habit, but now I focus more on the diaphragm or like my core. I focus more on just like, all right, if I'm going to hit this high note, I try to kind of relax into it and let the power come from my body. One thing that's really helped me, it's amazing. I think the thing about singing is like, it's really helpful just to like absorb as much, technique or explanations from people as you can, because you never know when like a certain phrase is just going to click with you. And I heard this one vocal coach on YouTube, and she said singing is an athletic activity. It takes the whole body. And just that one phrase alone just kind of helped me realize, like, when you're singing a note, it's not just coming from your throat. Like, you can put your whole body behind that note, and that's how you get that power and that stability. And when you're using your whole body, it takes off less pressure from just a single point. So rather than using only your throat and totally straining to get that note, kind of putting like your belly into it and kind of, not so much of your throat, and kind of singing forward into that mask, that invisible mask that you're wearing, like all of that, that just helps you give like a good solid, like, foundation for your note, rather than it feeling kind of wavery or anything like that. And that one like mindset alone has really helped me. So when I'm like singing a note, I'm trying to like think of like putting my whole body into it. It's such an abstract thing to kind of think about. But and so, maybe that'll help some of you. Maybe you got to find something else. I think that's the thing, is a lot of singers, I think there's a lot of abstract tips that like they're hard to explain, but they make sense to you, and they kind of help you visualize like what you're trying to accomplish with your voice. Lady C says, V is a better consonant to start with, by the way, for open vowels. Interesting. So like va, vi, vu, ve, is that kind of what you mean? I've done different exercises, and some of them start with, there's a lot of nays and nas. I'll practice the e's, but that's interesting. V. Yeah, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that some, or if that's all there is to it, just va, vi. What's interesting for my harsh vocals, R's are very helpful, kind of doing that, so it's instead of saying ah, e, it's more like ra, re, ru, re, those R's kind of help, I guess, get that, I don't know, they kind of get your jaws in the right place, I guess, to get the sound you want. And yeah, I agree with Lady C. Lady C was saying to Michael, I think if you wanted to learn, you could. And I agree with that. I think anyone can learn to sing if they want to, And, if you're totally content where you are as a vocalist, nothing wrong with that. But if you want to get better at it, go for it, because you can totally do it. LSP asking Lady C, how do you warm up your vocal cords? Don't know if she's going to be able to explain that in text, but Lady C, if you ever do a stream, you might have to demonstrate that. You could totally do like a little singing class or something, Yep. Well, hey, singing from the cello in the best isn't cello in the best. Chest in the belly isn't a bad thing. That's actually a good thing, to use your chest voice. That's kind of that's a big area for the voice to resonate, and that can kind of help you get a lot of power. behind your voice. Let's see. Just catching up. Daniel says, if you watch some of the masterclass opera singers, they'll make you train your diaphragm by using weights on your stomach. You know, I've actually seen that. Yeah, where they'll lay on their back and kind of do that. And opera, now, Lady C, I don't know if you have any, you know, any training with classical singing or opera singing, because that's like a totally different style. You know, you know, I'm imitating it, but I don't even know necessarily where they're focusing on resonating. You know, the technique I tend to use is belting, you know, which is, you know, just that forward placement, because it's you know, it's used in most styles of music, I would say. That classical style of singing is a little less common, but, you know, still really fantastic, you know, when you hear it, you know. If you don't sing from the diaphragm, you don't have the necessary power. Quiet notes actually take more work than loud ones. I would agree with that. You know, for me, the louder notes are the easy ones. The quiet ones, those are the hard ones to get that stability behind. Like the quiet notes just like sound so fragile, and it's so hard to just like get my voice to not shake, you know. So that takes a lot of work. I'm still kind of working at getting better at singing quieter notes. But yeah, I agree. Quieter notes are hard. Everyone's impressed with the high ones, and that's really not that hard, you know. Even there's a technique I'm working on called mixed voice. So mixed voice is kind of what helps me to hit some of the higher notes. So mixed voice is kind of what it sounds like. You're combining your belting voice, your whoa, you know, hey. You're combining that with your falsetto. You're kind of mixing the two. There's this kind of breaking point between the two. Usually the voice will break. If you go up, you hear that? That voice kind of breaks, you know, and you have to switch from your real voice to that falsetto. But you can, with training, you can kind of smooth out that gap, and you can sort of bridge the two. In fact, a lot of the singers that we were looking at today, a lot of these guys, the Dio and Rob Halford, Jeff Tate, a lot of these like guys in the older metal bands. That's how they get those high notes, because it's not quite falsetto. You know, they're not going, yeah. I know that kind of sounded like it, but you can hear that sounds a little thin. You know, it's like it doesn't quite have the same power or grit that they have, because what they're doing is they're using mixed voice, which is kind of blending the two. And I use it for my song "Erase Myself." I'll try to demonstrate it. I've had to practice it. It's pretty tough to do, but it's really satisfying when I get it. And when you're kind of locked into the technique, yeah, you can really you can hit some high notes with ease. You know, certainly a lot easier than the old technique of trying to strain for those high notes. So let's see here. This is my song "Erase Myself." Let's see. Erase myself for all this pain. Erase myself. Here it comes. Then start again. And I'll face. Oh, nope, that was the first one. All right. So I gotta go, and I'll face. That's the note. And I'll face. There we go. That's mixed voice. And I'll face myself. Now it's still tough. You know, it's not easy, but when you lock in, it's like there's a lot less effort going into hitting that note. Praise myself for all this pain. Erase myself and start again. And I'll face myself with honesty. Erase myself. Yeah. So the technique I'm using to get that note is mixed voice. So I'm not straining for that note. I had to train how to do that. There, again, just certain exercises that I had to do over and over again, and I actually use that song as an exercise to practice that line, because that's a tough one. I don't always nail that live. So yeah, so we'll see. You know. All right, let me catch up here. Yep, LSP saying, just tried that. It definitely quenched the chords. Okay, so some advice that Lady C was giving. Yeah, to be honest, Lady C is probably the one you know, if you guys want a singing masterclass, she's probably the one to go to. I'm just sharing what's helped me. So the best singers to me have no reservations and they just let it go. Yeah, some singers, yep, they just, I don't know, they can sing whatever they want. I have a friend, haven't seen her in years, but probably the best singer I know. And she's just one of those people where, like, she can just sing so effortlessly, like she's barely trying, and just anything she sings, it's like, oh my gosh, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard, you know? It's just, and, you know, I wish I could sing like that, but. Lady C says, I have one opera song on my page, and then quiet notes are where your breath control comes into play. Yes, I would agree with that. It does, interestingly, it takes more breath for some reason, or at least you have to manage your breath better for lower notes. Daniel says, for me, opera singers are truly where training the voice makes a great singer. If some were in tonight's bracket, they would win over them all. They train their voice for years. Yep, definitely a lot goes into that. Which I will say, you know, if there's anyone watching, especially anyone younger watching who, like, wants to sing, look up vocal lessons on YouTube. Like, for some reason, I was always scared of vocal lessons because I didn't want to sing in that opera style. Like, I didn't want to be a classically trained singer. And so, like, you know, so I avoided it. But first off, there's a lot of singing teachers for many different styles, and you can train for whatever style you want to sing. So just because you take vocal lessons doesn't mean that you're going to become, you know, an opera singer. You know, you can train for whatever style you want to sing. And that's something, like, I just wish I'd done that, you know, a lot sooner. So there's my tip for you. Michael says, I'll have to go. I'll catch the rest on the replay. Very interesting and informative. Well, I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you have a good night, Michael. Kim's Creation. Bye, Michael. And I know you can sing. I've heard you. I guess if you're talking about Michael singing, then, yeah, I'll have to. I'm not sure if I've heard Michael sing yet. Some goodbyes. Again, Daniel saying, Montserrat, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Cabell, was such an amazing singer, a voice at its highest caliber. I will definitely have to check out that vocalist. Got some goodbyes. It's a lot harder to do sitting. Oh, thank you. Yep, Kim saying sounded good. I think it is tougher doing sitting, but I was trying to, if I sit and sing, I try to keep my torso upright, you know? Like, I try not to, you know, like, crouch or, like, squish my diaphragm, you know? I try to, so I feel like, I don't know, it probably is still harder because you don't quite have the same stability from, like, standing. But, you know, but I try to keep the same posture that I would have even if I was standing up. So, but yes, singing is a lot harder. Let's see here. Lady C says, I still say you should look at people's credentials for teaching. Yes, I would say that too. Yeah, if you're looking online, I'm mostly just saying to not let... you know, like, yes, that's good advice. If you're going to look, you know, if you're going to take lessons, look up credentials. I would agree with that. But I was mostly just saying, like, don't let, you know, fear of, like, oh, well, I'm scared, I'm not going to learn the way I want to, you know, keep you. But yes, that's good advice. You know, when you do look online, like, don't just settle for the first vocalist you find. Try to, you know, kind of check out a few, see what they teach, make sure they sing. That's important too. Make sure they're not just teaching, but they actually sing. And then, yeah. And, you know, usually I'll kind of hop around a little bit and I'll find a few, like, you know, I kind of have my go-to teachers where they've taught me things that have been very helpful to me. Let's see. Lady C says, I stood up to sing my opera song, but usually I sit. Yeah, sitting would be a lot tougher. And yeah, I would imagine singing an opera song probably is going to require a little bit of a little extra foundation from standing. But last thing I'll say real quick, and then I'll play one more song for you guys. So since we're talking about, like, you know, singing technique and all that. So with rock singing, a couple things that are very common is, one, adding that grit, you know, that texture. And that's one thing, that's something I've definitely, you know, I've worked on, but it's something that's come fairly easy to me. It's like, I kind of feel like sometimes I hide behind the grit, you know, like, if I'm being honest, sometimes I feel like the grit is kind of like an easy way for me to sound good. And so I I rely on it a lot, you know. But if you take it away, it's like I don't know if my voice is still as interesting. I think it can be, but it is a lot harder. I will say I do use grit as kind of a little bit of a crutch. You know? It's like it's kind of something because I can sing something like you know, just whoa whoa, and then you just add grit, whoa whoa, and it's a little more interesting. Now, either one might have sounded fine, and I think context is important too, you know. The grit probably wouldn't sound good for like a nice, pretty ballad or something, you know, and or vice versa, you know. The clean might not have enough interest or texture to it for like a, you know, a style like rock or metal, you know. So, so yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. I certainly try to work singing both ways, but as far as how grit works, it's not in the throat, or at least you don't want to think about it. Like you're not trying to, like cough yourself up. It's actually, again, it's very abstract. The way I think of it, and the way I was taught, I learned this from a vocal coach on YouTube named Mary Z from Voice Hacks. I kind of imagine like a rough texture on the roof of my mouth, almost like sandpaper or something like that, you know? And I pretend that there's like a filter between my teeth of like just distortion that my voice is singing through. And so it's almost more mental or psychological than it is like physical. But thinking that rough texture and then letting my voice go through that, you know, kind of helps. Another thing that helps is kind of playing with that, combining that with sort of your nasal resonator, I guess, I don't know, you know, singing into your nose a little bit. So if you kind of go there, you can kind of get that buzz, that and kind of focus on the sensation and then dial it back so that it's not so nasally. So that's a good way to kind of get that right amount of grit, you know, in your singing. And again, it shouldn't hurt the throat. And then lastly, when I do it, when I feel like I do it right, it almost feels like it wraps around my front teeth. It's kind of weird, but my voice sort of feels like it wraps around my front teeth. And so that can be really helpful. And so that's kind of a nice, you know, it's funny because I know it can sound like a little rough on the voice, but it actually feels quite nice. And yeah, it's a very helpful technique, especially like kind of for hitting those higher notes. And I don't know, I definitely enjoy it, and I've always liked hearing that. I remember, you know, one of the first vocalists I heard singing like that was Pete Loeffler from Chevelle, and I remember hearing him sing, and I was like, man, he sounds like he's like singing and screaming at the same time. How is he doing that? Like, I had no clue how he was doing it, and so that's definitely one of the techniques that I've enjoyed learning the most. Let's see here. Daniel says there's an opera called Norma. It's considered by many the most demanding opera performance to do. Imagine not only having to sing hours for this opera, but also performing the role as Norma. Yeah, I'll have to see if there's a YouTube video of that. But yeah, that sounds like it would be exhausting. That's the thing too. You know, I'd always heard, you know, cardio is like a good thing to do for singing. I've heard that Beyonce will practice singing on her treadmill because breath support is so important for singing. And so definitely, you know, getting your, you know, working on your lungs, you know, working on your you know, heart, getting your heart rate up and learning how to manage that air support is really helpful. I'll have to weed eat at my house sometimes. And, you know, so I'll actually, since that weed eater is so loud, I'll actually have my headphones on and I'll kind of sing along while that weed eater is kind of like covering up my voice so others can't hear me singing. And, you know, it's exhausting working outside and singing at the same time, but I think it's kind of a nice way to sort of like train for like the conditioning side of singing. I'm not saying that you should train like that all the time, but I think little things like that can kind of help with like if you can sing in that situation, then it makes it a little bit easier when you're just singing for a show. And then the last thing I'll mention is, of course, the harsh vocals. I talked about this when I was a guest on the stream on the block party last week, but there's two different types of screaming I'll use. There's false chord. I mean, I'm sure both of them use false chords, but one is called false chord screaming, and then the other is called fry screaming. And then false chord is the one that I got first, and that's the one that came a lot easier to me. Again, it's kind of like you just make that frustrated sound, like, you know, when you've just had a rough day and you're just kind of like, you know, that sound. So the throat is kind of relaxed, and you're almost trying to take your voice out of the sound and just kind of letting the air pass through your throat, just kind of and come out, you know? And then you kind of tighten up your belly a little bit, you know, that diaphragm behind it, and just kind of, you know, kind of shape it a little bit oh, did that hurt? Yeah, Kim, if you tried that, yeah. So now I will say, be gentle. All right, here's the thing. When you're practicing harsh vocals, you're probably not going to get it first try. So you have to relax. And the first few times you do it, you might be doing it correctly, but it might sound stupid, you know? And that's kind of the frustrating thing about harsh vocals is even for myself, I have to try to make an effort to practice them almost every day if I want to maintain them. Because if I miss a few days and I don't practice, then it's a lot harder for me to maintain. It's a lot harder for me to get it. But if I practice frequently, then I can do it a lot easier and it usually sounds better. So I will say that. But you're right. The first few times you do it, it shouldn't hurt, but it's probably not going to sound great. You know, just nice and relaxed, kind of letting that air comes out. I just made a horse sound. You know, yeah, so yeah, making lots of funny noises. But yeah, it's kind of that frustrated sound. And then again, you kind of, you want to focus on that forward placement, you know, so out of your throat and kind of coming through your teeth. You can kind of use that same grit technique we were talking about earlier, like imagining some kind of like sandpaper at the top of your mouth. So that's kind of the sound. And then you might try like an actual vowel, like that, you know, ooh, you know, and you want to be able to do it kind of relaxed. And once it feels good, then you kind of learn how to get that air support behind it. And that's how you get the more like intense like growl. So, but again, first time you're doing it, you're probably not going to be able to do that. Like even if you're doing the technique right, it's probably not going to sound good at first. You almost have to condition for it a little bit because yes, you definitely don't want to hurt your throat in the process. But that was the technique that came a lot easier for me. Now that one works a lot better for like growls, for like the kind of deeper sounds. But the downside is it's very hard to sing like a lot of words. So like lots of phrases, you kind of run out of air quickly with that technique. So it's not the best technique for very wordy phrases. So fry screaming, now this one's a lot harder to explain, but I think it's kind of a similar tone placement. So the best way I can describe it is you're still relaxed, but I feel like the throat is more open when you're doing false chord screaming, where with fry screaming, it's more closed. Now, I don't mean tense. You're not tensing it, but it's almost more, yeah, I already got the sound a little bit. Just doing that, just kind of like squeezing the voice a little. Kind of getting more of a squeeze. And then you get you know, that's by being able to kind of squeeze it and then, again, letting that air push through and then using that same tone placement from the grit, kind of using that same grit placement, you combine that, and that's how you get that, like, more of a higher kind of textured scream. You know, and so that's where you can get sort of a more aggressive kind of, like, that's kind of good for wordy phrases. So there's a song from Chevelle, and for whatever reason, this phrase helps me. So they sing, we play the blaming game, yes I mind, so your turn. So for whatever reason, that phrase really helps me find that sensation and dial into it. So, but yeah, so I'll say with harsh vocals, what kind of helps is taking phrases from your songs and turning them into exercises. So I'll take phrases from my songs and I'll practice singing them or with that harsh technique to get it. And again, when you do it right, it doesn't hurt, but fry screaming was so hard. Like, I don't know why, but like, yeah, it was really tough to get like a decent sound without accidentally hurting my throat. But now when I do it right, it's weird. It's almost effortless, you know, but you get that really like aggressive sound out of it. Yeah, Kim's Creation says, I put my denture back in LSP and it works really great. Yeah. LSP says, the most interesting sound I've ever heard was a roaring lion. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, I bet if you've heard like a real lion roar, unless you're Yeah, if you've heard like a real lion roar, I bet that's really intense. So, Lady C says this was fun, but I've got to head out. Well, don't worry. I think we're putting a wrap on this anyway. I'm going to play one more song for you guys, and then we'll call a wrap on it. But yep, see you later. Happy screaming. Yep. So, but yes, I do gotta have I gotta put a wrap on this. But I do appreciate you. Hopefully, you all enjoyed the conversation. I've got one more song for you guys. And then, yes, we're going to put a wrap on this stream. But thank you so much to those of you who have tuned in. I hope you have enjoyed the stream. And hopefully you enjoyed our little conversation about vocal techniques. You know, it's I've certainly, I love singing. And, I had to practice a lot just to get, like, pretty decent at it. And, so when I compare my voice to how I used to sing, like, I've gotten a lot better. And I'm thankful for that. And so, yeah, I definitely enjoy, talking about it. And, yeah, I don't know. It's a fun thing. So it's an interesting, there's a lot of neat things that the voice can do. And I think singing is a lot more complicated than people realize. Some people are just like, I guess you're just born with a good singing voice. And it does seem to be true that some people are kind of born with a naturally good singing voice, but that's not like the only hope. It's not like either you were born with a good singing voice or you weren't. It's just, no matter what voice you're born with, there are ways to get the best sound out of your voice. So, yes. So anyway, I've got one last song for you guys, and then we are going to put a wrap on all this. So, this is a song I released not too long ago, but this one is available on Spotify and such. Hope you enjoy it. This one's called Waking Up.
It's too much effort to pull away the covers that hold me down and won't let go. It smothers me, the weight of this anxiety pressing me into my pillow. Blissful sleep, chasing lies and counting sheep. It sure is easy, but not for me. So here I am, with all I have. I'm waking up, I'm facing what's in front of me. I won't back down, I can't stop now. I'm waking up so I can start to dream. I toss and turn, and tick by talk the hours burn, pleading for this night to end. Part of me begging to go back to sleep. It sure is easy, but not for me. So here I am, with all I have. I'm waking up, I'm facing what's in front of me. I won't back down, I can't stop now. I'm waking up so I can start to dream. You're not worth less. You have purpose. like facing what's in front of me. I won't back down. I can't stop now. I'm waking up so I can start to dream. So here I am with all I have. I'm waking up. I'm facing what's in front of me. I won't back down. I can't stop now. I'm waking up so I can start to dream.
Thank you. Again, that one's called Waking Up, and that is available on Spotify. Or, wherever you'd like to listen to music. So I'll go ahead and post a link for that. So if you enjoyed it, well, you can hear it again. All right, guys, I'm going to catch up with the chat real quick, and then I do think we are going to put a wrap on this. So, all right, just a moment here. What am I looking for? Okay. All right, catching up with the chat. Oh, let's see here. Yep, some goodbyes. Kim's Creation says, being a kitchen manager in a restaurant, that comes up pretty natural for me. I'm sure that would do it. That's funny. LSP says, great show. I love the way it unfolded. Well, thank you. Yeah, I love it when we get into topics and stuff. It's always fun. So, thank you, LSP. Saying sounded great. Great show. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, guys. Showing off the range. Well, thank you. Yeah, love this song. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you like the song, again, it's available on Spotify or wherever you like to listen to music. And I shot a music video for it, too, that you can find on my YouTube channel. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Anyone watching now or on the replay, if you'd like to support me, I posted a link for a virtual tip jar. You can also find it in the description. And I appreciate your support. This just helps me to kind of keep doing this and to bring you bigger and better content. And so I do appreciate anything that you can provide. If you don't have the financial means to support me, my biggest goal right now is building an audience. So the way you can help me in doing that is, one, just by sharing my songs, sharing my songs and my content with other people so that they can see it, so that they can hear it. And yeah, just liking, subscribing, all that stuff, and also subscribing for my my email list. So I just posted another link, which you can also find in the description. But if you sign up for my email list, this allows me to keep you notified for whenever I have new song releases, which I am working on a new song. So definitely I'll keep you posted about that. And, whenever I go live or just, special content, it helps me kind of keep you in the loop and keeps you posted. So if you want to stay in touch with the things that are developing, be sure to sign up for my email list. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I've enjoyed this. I hope you all had fun. And yeah, we're going to have another stream next week. I can't remember what the segment is off the top of my head, but we'll find that out when we get to it. We may do a part 2. I know people were saying we didn't get a chance to do the female vocalist brackets this time, so maybe we'll do brackets again. I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, night, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Until next time.